Now, is it CYMA or CYMA? I mean, I wouldn't say sequel, I'd say cycle. You say CYMA, I say CYMA, 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 CYMA. Let's call the whole thing off. Let's call the whole thing off. Okay, now, just for the record, CYMA is probably the correct way. I just love saying CYMA. Okay, so this is the CYMA 052 or 052, whatever you want to call it. It's based on the RPK from Kalashnikov. However, take a look here. It shows you three variants. Top one being the CM052, then you've got the CM052A, and then you've got the CM052S. And it's got a little tick in the box. I've got one with the folding stock, but that's not the one I looked at initially. So let's get it open and let's actually see what we've got in here. I absolutely love the fact that this thing is so beastly and long. It's longer than the table. Right, here we go. Oh, come on now. What a beast. Oh, this is looking very sweet. Nicely packaged. And oh look, that's different. They've actually included a battery pack. Now I suppose it depends what part of the planet you live on, whether you get an included battery pack or not. Right, let's get this beast out. It is huge. So let's start with the instruction manual. Let's hope we've got some English going on. Okay, so we have an exploded diagram, and then we have the instruction manual itself. I'm seeing a lot of Chinese, but alas, excellent. For every piece of Chinese in this manual, you've got some English. Let me just first get rid of the disposables. Now, when I say disposables, whenever you get a generic charger like this, gratis, free, complimentary, in an airsoft gun package, destroy. No, don't destroy. Get rid, don't use. You really want to get yourself a nice little smart charger. Plus, we don't use that in the UK, although I do have an adapter where it can be used. But again, it's not a smart charger, so it's got to go. Now, where I've said that a million times in my videos about getting yourself a nice little smart charger, I often see comments saying, yeah, but what type of smart charger? Well, you can get something along the lines of this, although we have updated this model, but this has never failed me. Okay, you get a free complimentary bag of BBs, no thank you. And here it is. Again, it really does depend where you're based. Oh, you better come out. Where you're based on this planet. Look, you get an included battery pack which has been designed so it fits perfectly in this buttstock. Now I was going to say that's pretty much it for the accessories, but I can see something else. Hold on. Ah, very nice. This, my airsoft friends, you would use to adjust your front sight. Right, here we go. Let's get it out of the box. And my oh my, this has got some weight to it. Oh, there should be an unjamming rod. Oh yeah, there we go. Can you see it? There's your unjamming rod. Nice and long too. Cool. Ah, now yes, this will make a nice addition to my airsoft Kalashnikov collection. So the first thing I want to do is to get this metal butt plate off so I can show you the battery compartment, which isn't that big. And then I want to get the battery pack in, get it all ready, and then I'll take you around this beastly piece. Right, so to get into the stock, as you have seen, there's two little screws, so you will need a screwdriver, and you could say that's the first little negative right there, having to always have a screwdriver to change the battery. Okay, so let me just show you inside the battery compartment. So right there, You can see you've got all your cabling, your fuse case with a fuse inside, and your Tamiya plug. And that is the space you have to fit a battery pack. Now to you that may seem quite big. Naturally, the battery pack that it came with, a 9.6 volt, yeah? Naturally, that'll go in there, no problems whatsoever. Then you've got your PEC style battery pack, loads of room, practically disappears down there. And that's a LiPo. And then you've got this more familiar, although it's an 8.4 battery pack, but look, that too fits in there, no problem. And then you've got these types of battery packs. Again, this is your sort of like a stick or a candy bar type battery pack. Again, no problem. But be careful about what sort of voltage you're putting in this, okay? Because 9.6 recommended, and if you're going to use a LiPo, 7.4. If you're going to put an 11.1 volt in there, ooh, expect some issues later down the line, unless you give it a little upgrade. Again, here's another battery pack. This one's fatter, but again, yeah, let me try that again. But again, no problem. However, this, forget it, I won't even try it. Literally, look. But what about this? Here's another 9.6 volt battery pack, and you can see why they've rejigged things around to make this sort of customized type battery pack to give you the same sort of voltage as these, because believe it or not, will not fit. It literally is just too long. Look, let me show you right on the edge there. Can you see it still there? Unless you're one of those type of people who loves a challenge and you decide to just make a bit more space down there in the base of the battery compartment, because it is all wood. But I would take extreme caution, because if you start trying to drill out a bit more space in the bottom of this stock, you really don't have much to play with. You could end up drilling all the way through, or cutting a hole or whatever right the way through your stock. Right, so let's put those LiPos away. And by the way, invest in one of these if you've got LiPo batteries. They're very cheap. And if you're wondering why you should invest in one of these if you have LiPo batteries, just Google LiPo battery fires. Let's just make sure this is on safe. And I would recommend you just lightly tighten it. Don't go overboard, because you're going to have to be taking this on and off, 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 on and off. Okay, as always, let's just make sure this thing works before we go any further. Pointing it in a safe direction where there is nothing that could be hurt or broken. That's full auto. We want to test this in semi-auto first. Nice! So we know that works. Let's just quickly test full auto. Woo! Back to safety. Let's complete that picture. Oh, look at that. And you know the good thing about this? It can take any CYMA AK mag. I kid you not. That's my CYMA AK-47. This is the CYMA AK-47 mag. This is the RPK. Nice. This is my LCT AK-12. Not a CYMA. But I wonder, it's still an AK. What do you reckon? Oh my gosh. Interesting. So let's take a look around this piece. Now we've already covered the butt plate and the battery compartment. And then of course you've got this rather very recognizable stock of the RPK. And on this side you have your rear sling point. And if you look closely, there's a little button so you can fold your stock. But you know what makes me laugh about this beautiful piece? Even with the stock folded, the RPK is still longer than a standard length AEG rifle. And in this case, this is the double barrel DT4. So as far as the construction is concerned on this piece, it's pretty much all wood and metal. The only parts that are not wood or metal is your grip and of course the mag. Let's just lock this back open again. And of course you have your fire selector switch and, as mentioned earlier, safe, full auto, semi-auto. And you have the famous AK scratch. But here, look, if you look on the grip closely, it's got that nice diamondy checkered effect. And then you have access right there to start to take this down so you can gain access to the motor. And there you have your trigger and trigger guard. And of course, by now you would have noticed it's hop-up adjustable, and I'll show you that in a moment. And there you have your paddle mag release, your mag. And let's get to the bit that I do like about this, although it's not blowback. Now, blowback isn't the be-all and end-all of everything, you know. It doesn't have to always be blowback. In fact, a lot of people prefer not to have blowback because it could be one other thing that could go wrong. But in terms of filmmaking, oh, you gotta love a bit of blowback action. But anyway, the good thing about this one is that it does simulate the real thing. So for example, look how far back it travels, all the way back here. Now normally when you, oh, did you hear that? What a lovely clack. Anyway, normally when you have a mock charging handle that does open, it only opens so far so you can gain access to your hop-up adjustment, and it's one of those slidey things right there. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that, but it's there and it works. But again, I love the fact that CYMA has designed this so this can go all the way back. Lovely. Now there's a reason why I've jumped forward to this area and not spoken about this yet, because I want to put it on its bipod and have it on the desk so that I can show it to you properly. So for now, we can move along to this awesome looking rear sight, and I'm loving the fact it's got all the red markings there too. And it is fully adjustable for windage and elevation. So for your elevation, as always, you just grip this right there, lift, and you can move it to whatever position you want. That's your elevation. And then for your windage, you just grab hold of that and turn. And then right here, you have your takedown lever. Okay, so flipping it around to this side, you get to your front sling point. And now we come to the bipod. Awesome looking bipod. This is how you release it, like that. However, if you've got your mag still in there, look, it's not happening. You literally can't really use this to stand it up if you wanted to do anything other than fire it. Look, yes, whilst you're holding it and you're using it, no problem. Awesome bipod. But if you wanted to put it down, look, that big old long mag gets in the way. So for the purpose of this next part of the video, let me just remove the mag and set this down. Now let me say this from the get-go. Nothing comes as close to the real thing as my Wii AK-74. You saw what happened when I removed the top cover right here. Now that's what I call realism in airsoft. Now although this will not have that feature because it's not a blowback, I still absolutely love the fact that they still have that system right here that looks just like the real thing. And it even begins to take down just like the real thing. Your spring and guide rod. And take note, this isn't the spring that actually operates the AEG. This is just for the mock charging handle, but still. And look, you can take that out also. And then we get to the front of the RPK where you have your adjustable front sight, and as shown earlier, they include a tool so you can adjust the sight, which is brilliant because not all airsoft manufacturers do that for you. They give you a sight that's adjustable, but they don't include this. Well, CYMA has. And then you have your removable flash hider, and the way to remove that is that little button right there. You press that in and unscrew. And that's your 14mm counterclockwise threaded outer barrel. Now, when you're putting this back on, you can only go so far before that button there gets in the way. So what you need to do, as soon as you hit it, release it a little, press that in and continue. And don't tighten it too much, release that button, and if you notice, the button is not actually sticking out anymore because you need to turn it until it sits into place. Nice. So you literally don't really have to have that on that tight. But if you're like me and you like things just so, do it a bit more. Nice. Right, let's get this back around to the prettier side. Right, let's get the mag ready. So it's a big old high cap mag, so there's a door on the top. You just pour the BBs in. You can pour up to 800. And then you get to winding. And you keep winding until you see the first BB make an appearance at the top. There he is. There's your first BB, and once you see your first BB, you keep winding. And yes, I know, caught my arm on something earlier. Little scratch. Not as cool as an AK scratch though. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, recently I've become somewhat of a connoisseur of BBs. Only the finest will do. Although I do use other brands as well, like, you know, the G&G PSBB or whatever they call them. And I also use Bulldog and BAW, B-A-W, and Garda, M&P Elite, Smith & Wesson, don't you know? And of course, the marvellous, absolutely divine Toko Marui. Only the best will do. Yeah, but when I can't be asked, I just use Bulldog. Lovely. Right now, before I do the chrono test and a little accuracy test, I say little because I'm not too bothered whether this is really super uber accurate or not. This bad boy is designed for suppressive fire. Yeah, I think that's working. Let me cut another hole. I love how that did that. Okay, let's get back to my default targets. Hello, voiceover mic here. You will notice one or two shots don't appear on screen. It's because the camera was in just a little bit too tight, but trust me, every BB fired successfully. Okay, time for the chrono test. Now, quick disclaimer, as I do with every video, I'm in the UK, so we have certain laws regarding FPS, and I've accepted those, I've embraced those, because we were that close to having airsoft banned in the UK, and luckily it's been placed into law, and as long as we adhere to that law, so far so good, we're okay. So, in the UK, if you have an airsoft weapon, or I say weapon, but anyway, an airsoft rifle or whatever, and it's capable of full auto like this is, the maximum FPS we are allowed is 370. If it can only shoot single shots, like a sniper rifle or anything that can only shoot only single shots, we're allowed up to 520, which is decent. But because this is full auto capable, I'm only allowed up to 370. Now, if you're in a country where you don't have such limits, this will come out of the box shooting anywhere between 400 to 420 FPS. This has been UK modded, so it really shouldn't do more than 370, and hopefully it will be closer to 340 so that we can actually use it in gameplay. .350.4, 344.5, 348.1, 347.4, 344.5, 344.5 again, nice, 345.9, one more, 349.6. And let me tell you, my airsoft friends, that is perfect for gameplay. Especially in the UK. Maybe you can tell me what your FPS limits are in your country if you have any. Especially like in the United States of America, European countries. What's your FPS limits? Not only in law, but also for gameplay. Hell yeah! Loving the fact that the FPS stayed up there in the high 340s, and we are looking at about 13 rounds per second. Nice! So there you go. This is the CYMA CM052s, the RPK. So what's my initial thoughts on this? Well, let me make this quick because I've gone seriously over time here. Who cares? I'm enjoying myself. But yeah, lovely build, real wood, made out of stamped steel and aluminium. I can't see any faults just yet, other than, you know, the whole thing of having to unscrew the butt plate to get the battery in or out. Also, when you fold that stock, it doesn't appear to lock. But you know, I do love the fact that you can use many different types of AK mags in this, and you can get that drum mag too. I wish there was just a little bit more space in that big old stock at the back, but other than that, my first impressions, and a lot of people will agree with me when it comes to CYMA. As a brand, there's not something you would jump and rejoice about, other than when it comes to their AKs. There's just something about CYMA AKs, apart from the real low-end ones, that are pretty decent. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Oh, and yeah, look in the video description. I'll put as many retailers that I know of that sells this, and hopefully they won't have sold out by the time you watch this video. I'll catch you next time on the Airsoft Mike YouTube channel. Oh, and by the way, I am going to be resurrecting my Mike's Tech and Toys YouTube channel soon.